Hi guys, so welcome back to Design with Karthik and welcome back to Basics of Typography. This is the 14th video of Basics of Typography, and I'm so very happy and so I feel so very blessed for having so many viewers viewing each and every video of typography and asking me several feedbacks and asking me some special request on some of the video. I'm really happy and really feel blessed for that. It is you who are supporting my channel and supporting the content which I'm sharing it. So I feel very thankful for all of you guys. So a special thanks for all the each and everyone who is watching each and every video of mine without fail and asking me when will be the next video. So I feel very honored, very blessed for that. Okay, so without any further delay, we'll start with this session. Okay, this is the most important session so far. Okay, even last two video, it is a very short video about tracking and kerning, but this video it is definitely going to be a long video, but I assure you there will be a maximum learning in this session. Okay, compared to the different styles of typefaces, script, sans serif, slab serif, decorative, handwritten font, this video how to do manual kerning, this video is most important. Okay, at first I thought we can have a detailed of this in when we are dealing with a logo, but now before starting this video I thought, okay, let's elaborate now itself so that we'll understand the flow, because it looks better when we explain now itself, because you know about what is leading, you know about what is tracking, and you know about what is kerning also. But and what is the difference between auto kerning and manual kerning also, you will be having some idea, and how to do manual kerning is what we are going to see in this video. Okay, so most useful video for all of you guys. If you have not watched earlier videos, at least try to watch this tracking kerning last two videos of mine in this series, so that you understand this video a much more better way. Okay, so without any further delay, let's get started. So welcome back to Basics of Typography, and this video it is about how to do manual kerning. Okay, so the person who is watching my video from the first, person who is following the Basics of Typography from the first, will be very familiar with this course outline. Okay, so now we are in the last thing of this is the last video on the basics section. Okay, after this there will be a small break and then we'll go on to this how to choose this section. Okay, and this session is most, from the start I'm telling you, this session is the most useful section for all the things, and if you are a logo designer, this video will be most useful. Okay, so how to do manual kerning. Okay, so before starting into this manual kerning thing, as a default there is auto kerning done in each and every system. The auto kerning can be optical or metric things, and output optical or metric, and there is a ample amount of difference between optic and metric. Okay, which we have seen in the last video itself. Okay, but those two things is okay for us. It doesn't affect readability. Okay, it doesn't, optic or metric doesn't affect readability. Even if you choose wrongly also, it doesn't affect any readability. To start with, auto kerning is much okay, but if you want to become a pro level in a design, okay, if you want to elevate your level, your design to a next level, then definitely manual kerning is much more required, and manual kerning is mandatory thing for a logos. Okay, you can't just like that type any font for that and give a logo, even though you are having a beautiful icon, a much more creative icon in your logo. If you are failing to do the kerning part in the just a text which is written at the bottom, then that will showcase that you are not a pro level designer. Okay, so for logo design, this kerning, manual kerning is much more required, because the beauty of the text lies in the spacing between each and every element, how equally it is placed, and that spacing is what we are going to understand in this manual kerning thing. Okay, so why this is very much important in logo design, I'll tell you. By default this is a radical font, if I'm not wrong. Okay, one second, I'll just have a check. Sorry, this is Museo Sans font, not radical font. Okay, Okay, so this is a Museo Sans font. Okay, so I have not done any kerning. This is an optical kerning. I have just drawn a equal spacing rectangular line between each and everywhere. Okay, if you see here, if you see whether there is equal amount of spacing, if you see here, the spacing between G and R, it seems to be very loose. Okay, this square thickness is same. Sorry, not square. This rectangle is same for all. Okay, this light red color rectangle is same for all, same size. Okay, but if you see G and R, there is very too loosely placed. Okay, the spacing is more here, but at the same time if you see Y and T, if you see there is too tight. Even for H and Y it is too tight. Same thing for Y and P. Okay, so as a default, if you see, this doesn't affect readability is never an issue in this test. But if you want your word, for example, you imagine this to be a brand name. Okay, whether this type of irregular spacing, whether you will be okay for your brand name, definitely no, right? So that is why manual kerning plays a most important role in logo design. The spacing between, the beauty of the text lies in a spacing between each and every elements. Okay, imagine a cluttered march past and a uniform march past. Okay, how it looks, there is a beauty, right? When a soldier is marching past when a soldier march pasting in a particular straight pattern, straight line with the equal spacing between each two soldiers, or each two soldiers, the beauty lies there. Okay, so that same beauty is what we required in between each and every characters. Okay, the beauty of the word, beauty of the brand name, beauty of the text lies in a spacing between each and every word. So make sure you follow this manual kerning. Okay, so there are 3 steps process, and that is what we are going to see now. Okay, so the first process is identify troublemaking letters. Okay, so there are 26 alphabet, and in that all the alphabet are not troublemaking letters. There are some 8 alphabets which are troublemaking letters. So we can classify that. For example, slanted letters. Okay, irrespective of whatever font, just forgot the script font. Okay, script font doesn't follow this principle. I'll come to that script font later stage. Just imagine sans serif font, slab serif font, or serif font. Okay, don't go for a decorative font or script font. Just forgot that font. Mostly if you're except for a bakery kind of logo, you'll be using script font or decorative font kind also. But mostly for a professional corporate kind of logo, we'll be going for this font. In some of the decorative font, this logic work. Okay, because decorative font most are not that decorative, they will be simple decorative font also. Some decorative font, these logics do work, but script font definitely this logic don't work. Okay, I'll come about the script font later stage. But imagine for a serif, sans serif and slab serif font, the first step is identify a troublemaking letters. So there are some slanted letter A, K, V, Y, W and Y. So you see there is a slanting thing here. Same for V, same for W, same for Y. Okay, so these are the troublemaking letters, and identify the letter with cross stroke. For example, F as cross stroke, L as cross stroke. Okay, and even E also has cross stroke. Okay, if you see here the E also looks cross stroke, but that doesn't look more odd because it looks like a proper covered rectangle. Since this stroke and this stroke seems to be same, so that doesn't seems more spacious. Same thing, L also doesn't give a issue for us because bottom part it has a stroke. Okay, so the kerning will be seen from the bottom part only. Okay, so bottom part only if next to L, if V comes, there will be a problematic, very big problematic. Same thing for W. But if it is a normal if it is a T, then there comes a problem because the top bit has a stroke and bottom it is more space. So whenever we are adjusting a tracking from bottom, there will be a more issue will be there. So identify a problematic letters, troublemaking letters, which will be slanted letters and letter with cross stroke. So in a particular word, just identify this troublemaking letters and adjust the spacing, adjust the kerning around it. Okay, so here are some examples. Okay, so here if you see the troublemaking letters, this is the name Karthik. So if you see the troublemaking letters, if you see K and A, both are slanting. Okay, when you look as a overall, if you see here there is no spacing, okay, the kerning, if you see no spacing, but here you see there is more spacing, and based on this spacing, if you see the based on K and A spacing, if you see R, it has more, the spacing will be doing irrespective, it will be doing with respective to the previous letter only. So here if you see there is more spacing, and same thing, because of that here there is a more spacing there, okay, and same thing for T. If you see here there is more spacing, but here there is a less spacing. So the first thing is to identify this trouble making letters. So K, A and T is the trouble making letters. So now check what is there next to the letter and previous to the letter and adjust the spacing about it. So here K and A both are trouble making, so here whatever beyond this we can't adjust the kerning here. If you adjust this, then this should go back together, and that will be projecting a wrong impression, which we see in that corner and comma example. Okay, so next to the A, if you see the spacing between A and R should be optimum thing, it should be in match with this. Same thing you see at the top of, or the bottom portion also, the top portion also, and adjust the spacing. Same thing for T, if you see here there is so many spacing, but in compared to this H spacing, so make this H spacing in relative to this. Okay, so identify the trouble making letters and adjust the spacing before that and next to that particular letter. So this is the first thing to do in manual kerning. Same with another example in the name typography. If you see the trouble making letters is T, Y. Next to the Y there is a P, but if you see the spacing between these two and spacing between these two, it is not proper. Same thing with H and Y. You see this spacing. If the spacing is coming in the last or first, there will be not any issue. Generally, the first word and last word will be fixed. Okay, in between thing only you need to adjust it. Okay, only then the kerning will be, because if you are shifting the first word and last word itself, then the if suppose the word is coming in a particular paragraph, then whole paragraph spacing will get collapsed. Okay, so make sure the first word and last word is always fixed. Adjust the in between gaps. Okay, don't so that the entire width of the word is maintained properly in the correct way. Okay, and adjust the in between word so that there is a equal amount of spacing between each and every word, not equal amount, optimum spacing between each and every word. So here the trouble making letters TY, so this spacing is adjusted. Same thing HY, this spacing is adjusted. Okay, so this is the first step. Another example. Okay, so now here comes the one more trick here. Okay, so both these two examples are capital letters. Okay, but here if you see this is small letter, next to caps there is a small letter. Okay, so here if you see the spacing between T and E seems to be very much more higher compared to any other word in the text. Of course the spacing between A and C seems to be more, which will be coming to next rule is regarding that second thing. But if you see here, this spacing is more. Of course the end, if you see actually logically calculated, there is a zero spacing between this, because it will be calculated from the end part and the starting part of this E only. So logically speaking there will be a zero spacing, but in this case when we are going for a capital letter and small letter combination, the kerning can go negative also. Okay, the E can be adjusted inside this T also, so still you are not adjusting the first word. Okay, you are not adjusting last word, you are adjusting an in between word. So yeah, you bring this E somewhat closer to the T midline so that it look equally spaced. Of course this A and C also has to be adjusted, which I am coming dealing in the second point in manual kerning. So this is the first point. So trouble making letter is T. Okay, but here the difference is we are using capital and small letter. So here in proportion to the other letters, just adjust your manual kerning. Okay, so this is the first rule. Identify the trouble making letters, let it be the slanted letter or the letter with a cross stroke. Okay, even letter with a cross stroke, L or F will not be that problem, but T will definitely create a problem. So identify the slanting letter and cross stroke and check what is before that letter and after that letter, and adjust the spacing. So this is the first point in manual kerning. And second thing, okay, second thing is the shape of the word. Okay, or you can say the area of the word. Okay, so here if you see this is L and this is I. Both are a straight line, so the area of that word is more. But if you see I and O, this is a straight line, this is a curved line. The area between this is somewhat lesser. Okay, and same thing when you are coming with the two O's, the area is much more lesser. Okay, so logically, if it is a two straight L and I, if it is a two straight line, then there needs to be a more spacing. If it is a one straight line and one curved line, one curved thing, then there can be a lesser spacing compared to the first one. If there is two curved line, then the spacing can be much lesser. This is the rule. Okay, for example, L and I should have a more spacing because the area is much higher. I and O, there can be less spacing compared to this, and both the round shaped corner, it can have the least spacing. Okay, only then because the reason is here, if you see, there is not any white space anywhere, but here if you see, if you draw a box around this O, there is a white space, so we need to compensate that white space in that spacing. Okay, here there is no very less white space, so that we are leaving a much higher kerning space compared to these two. But here if you see, there are much more white space than any of these two first concepts, so here it has to be a lesser kerning. Okay, even though here we have drawn this line and we have identified this lesser kerning, but when you are looking at the particular text level, it looks uniform. So that is the beauty of kerning. Okay, so kerning is not the equal spacing between each and every word. For example, if a word is typography is there, it doesn't mean that the distance between T and Y and P should be same always. No, that is not manual kerning. So it has some set rules. Okay, so first one we have identified the slanted one and we have adjusted a kerning. Now how the kerning should be adjusted for with respect to the area of the word. So that is what we have seen it. So for example, if you see headline, okay, so this is the actual kerning which has been done. For example, if you see D, it has a bigger line. Okay, bigger so it is a straight line. L is there, I is there, so here there has to be a bigger more spacing should be there compared to the curved thing. A and D is a curved thing, so here can be a lesser spacing. Okay, sorry, A and D is not a curved thing. A and D is actually a straight line and curved thing. Okay, it is a straight line and curved thing. And same thing, H and E, it is a straight line and curved thing. But E and A, it is again a round thing, so it can have a lesser spacing. Okay, so the spacing between D and L should be higher compared to the spacing between A and D in compared to letter B spacing between E and D. Okay, so the same rule is what we are applying here. Okay, so next thing, once you identify the troublemaking letters and corrected the kerning, next thing, how much spacing you should adjust between the letters, it depends on this principle. Okay, depends on the area of the character, the spacing has to be adjusted. Okay, so same thing, so this spacing is more compared to this spacing and compared to this spacing. Okay, so coming on to third point. So in first two itself, most probably 90% of kerning will be done. Okay, first thing, you are identifying the troublemaking letters and you are correcting the kerning, and second thing, how much space is required between each and every character depends on the area of the character, and that has been with respect to that we have adjusted the kerning. And this third point comes in a very rare case, but it has to be done. It has to be done for logo. Okay, for example, this here it looks perfect. For example, if you see, the spacing between A and N seems to be more in compared to spacing between N and D. Okay, because this two is a flat line. Okay, A is a flat line, N is a flat line, so here the spacing is more. But if you see N and D, the spacing is comparatively less. Okay, the word actually seems to be no problematic, but when you flip the letters, when you rotate the letter upside down, you can see there is some issue in the spacing. You can see there is a more spacing between A and W, same for N and D. Even N and D, we can say that the spacing is lesser between these two. That is true, but when you see this gap to this gap, it seems to be more spacing, which we couldn't see in the straightforward word. When you flip the word, it is very more clear. It is much more clear. Okay, so in that, just flip the word and then just adjust the spacing and again undo the flip. Okay, so by this way you can do the manual kerning. Okay, so this is the 3-step process for manual kerning. First thing, look for troublemaking letters. Let it be slanted letter or let it be a letter with a cross stroke. Just check for the letter and correct the spacing, before that letter and next to that letter. Okay, so how much spacing should be there for each and every word? That for that we need to understand the second rule, which is understand the relationship between space and letter shape. Okay, that's what I mention as the area of the sorry, area of the character. So for example, if there is a two straight letter, it needs more space compared to straight and round letter compared to round and round letter. For example, D and L need more space in compared to I and O and in compared to O and O. Okay, that is a second thing. So understand this logic and allocate space appropriately. Okay, just like that, on an instant look, you feel everything should be okay, but the logo, especially when you are designing a logo, this second point should be most important, because only then a logo, if it is looking from if you look from a print material, from a closer look till the far look, okay, if the logo is brand name is placed in a holding kind of thing, if this spacing is allocated right, only then it looks clean and crisp when you are looking from a larger distance also. So this point is very much important. Okay, and third thing, even if all both these 2 points seems to be okay and kerning seems to be perfect, just as a check, just flip the word and check whether if there is any issue, if there is any slight gap issue is there, and adjust the kerning. Okay, so these are the 3-step process for manual kerning. Okay, so hope so. There's a very lengthy video, still this video is not ended. Okay, so I'm just repeating this point again. Look for troublemaking letters and correct it. Second thing, understand relationship between space and letter shape. Third thing, flip the word and adjust the kerning. This manual kerning is much needed, it is mandatory thing for a logo design. Okay, if you want a logo to be perfect, then definitely do this manual kerning. The beauty of the word lies in the space between each and every word. Okay, you can simply go for auto kerning and just go for it, but the beauty and perfectness in the word lies in this manual kerning. Okay, so just and don't worry about manual kerning in flyer or in a body test, or don't worry about that, but for a logo design you have to do this. Okay, you have to do this, just remember that. Okay, so the first point which I mentioned before starting this manual kerning rules is just forgot script font for manual kerning. Okay, the main thing is script font or running font. Okay, you can see that there's a cursive writing kind of font. So here if you increase the spacing between E and R, what would happen is it looks like some different kind of element which completely affect the style of the logo itself, style of the word itself. Okay, so the script font, how to do kerning? Here at least we can, here if you see, you can't do any kerning between these running letters. Maybe the spacing between K and E can be adjusted, but again the spacing looks beautiful here. So basically for script font, the major thumb rule is less is more. Okay, so this in script font it is better to avoid kerning, because the person who is designing script font itself will be considering this kerning factor, will be understanding this kerning factor, and only will be designing it. So it is better to avoid kerning in script font, because if you are going to do kerning for this point, if you adjust any letter, any one word, if you increase or decrease the spacing between any one word, then definitely you are going to lose the style in this font. This style is a beauty of this script font. If you are losing this style, then there is no use of using this script font. So you are in a situation where in some script font it looks more spacious, or even in this case this kerning can be adjusted between first letter. Okay, other letter it is running letter, so it is better you avoid it, but K and E you can adjust the kerning and you can bring E closer to it, that can be done. So but only thing have in mind, less is more. It is better to kern too little than overkern your type. Type that is too tightly spaced is unattractive and difficult to read. Okay, make sure you don't end up in like a comma like situation. For example, the corner R and N, the person has kerned it together, so R and N looks like a M. You see my earlier example, I'll try to showcase it in this video also. Okay, try to avoid such type of kerning. Okay, so don't think you are a what do you call you are kerning. Don't overkern your text. Okay, so that you don't make it difficult to read and unattractive. Okay, in script font, make a very little kerning. Less is more. Don't forget that less is more. Okay, it is better to avoid kerning in script font. Okay, but if you really want to do it, just do a minimal change in kerning for a script wise font. Okay, so this is the situation which I was talking about. Don't overkern your text and make it unattractive and not readable. Okay, the corner R and N has been clubbed together, look like a M, and it just spoiled the entire readability of a design and make this designer non-understandable. You couldn't understand you can understand what is meant by this word. Okay, so there is no point in designing this thing. Okay, so don't overkern. Okay, same thing, and see, this is a much bigger error. Okay, because the word meaning itself has been projected wrongly. So here the kerning has been overkerned. Okay, which means it is tightly packed. Okay, R and N clubbed together and look like a M, but here there is a missing kerning. Okay, the spacing between E and R has been increased. Okay, for no reason it has been increased. Maybe it might be a error, it might be a mistake from the design team, and because of that it is projecting a different meaning. Okay, therapist has been giving a meaning of the rapist, so the entire meaning of this brand is getting spoiled. Okay, so this is a perfect example for kerning gone wrong, and now you could understand the seriousness of kerning. Okay, so if you are not okay, if you are not comfortable in doing manual kerning, just go for auto kerning and just do it, just leave it. It is far more better than going for a kerning and ending up in this situation. Okay, so make sure, I do recommend a logo designer, a person who is doing a logo should do a manual kerning thing, but if you are not comfortable, just leave it. Okay, don't play around the word and make it project like a different meaning and end up in this situation, so that the entire meaning or the entire context of the brand itself get changed. Okay, this is a perfect example for kerning gone wrong. Never and ever do this mistake in your entire design career. Okay, so kerning in Illustrator, Photoshop or InDesign is actually a very simple thing. Okay, there is a shortcut thing. You don't need to go for a no need to go manually adjust here. Just click on a word, press Alt or Command. I'm having Mac, so just press Command and arrow keys will adjust the kerning. Left arrow will decrease, right arrow will increase. Okay, so first thing, identify troublemaking. So this example I have taken to show the shortcut. Okay, the shortcut is Alt or Command key and left and right arrow. So Alt or Command key and press left or right arrow to manually adjust your kerning. So how to do manual kerning? First, identify the troublemaking letters. So here the troublemaking letters is slanted letter. Let us keep K, and I think so that's it. There is not any troublemaking letter. So just next to K, the spacing between E seems to be much more higher. Okay, so how much spacing should be needed for each and every text? For that, the what you call the area of the text, area of the word where it is most area should be more space. So the N and I has more area. Okay, so it should be more spacious. Same thing for I and N, it should be more spacious in compared to N and G, where the area of G is lesser. So here the spacing can be lesser, so this spacing is okay. And same for R and I, here it is much more lesser. So here the spacing can be same as that of N and G, so same spacing we can keep it. And E and R, how to consider it? So it should be considered as the same N and I case. Okay, because the area for E seems to be on a larger side. Okay, even though there is a white space between this, but still the area seems to be higher. So it is better you follow the same principle for N and I thing, and that's it. I think so now the kerning looks much more better. Okay, and last thing, you just flip the word and you just check it. I don't feel any issue in this, so you can rethink it. Okay, so the shortcut is alt plus left or right arrow. Left arrow will decrease the spacing and right arrow will increase the spacing. Okay, so this is how you need to do a manual spacing. Okay, and in kerning in Canva, actually it is I have used Canva, but still I couldn't figure out exact kerning in Canva. Okay, there is a line height and letter height, but letter height also it is actually a tracking and not kerning. So I am sure it is not there. If anyone else feel it is there and I have missed it, I am feel free to learn from you. Okay, so please do comment in this video so that I'll also try to learn the kerning in Canva also. As per me, until date, I think so kerning is not there. If I adjust the letter spacing, it increase the spacing of a entire word only. It actually does the tracking and not a kerning. So I am sure it is not there. In case I am mistaken, I have not figured it out, I am feel free to learn from you. So please feel free to comment in the video. Okay, so kerning. Okay, so now we have seen manual kerning. Now we have seen what is a shortcut for kerning in Illustrator and Photoshop or InDesign, any Adobe platform also, and what is the kerning we should do for ScriptFont also. And if you want to practice kerning, there is a cool game actually. So the kern type 1 game is there. Okay, so I'll share you the link in the description also. So this is the game, so where you can try to adjust the kerning and try to understand how the spacing work. Okay, so this is how the kerning things. So you just adjust the spacing and just click done. Okay, and you'll get a score. And same way, see, first letter and last letter will be fixed. You can adjust the in between letter only. Okay, so just try to adjust it. Oh my god. So here, yes, here there is a more spacing. I should have done it. So yes, 78 is the score. So okay, so it's two slanting letter. Okay, so it is again a troublemaking letter for me. Yes, so you can try around it and see in here there is some decorative type of font. It is not a sorry, it is actually a slab serif font, italic slab serif font. Okay, so this is the spacing. Much more better. Okay, so just try around this website. Okay, I'll share you the link in the description, and you'll try to understand. You try this all the manual kerning techniques, the 3-step process. You try in this, and definitely I'm sure you'll be able to score 100 errors. Okay, I'm doing it in a hurry, so just think of this all the 3 manual kerning thing and try to do it. You'll definitely get a good score in this. And this game is a cool way to practice kerning, and it will be definitely helpful at the time of a logo creation. Okay, so definitely try this game. Okay, so that's it guys. So I am sure this is a very long video, so I am not sure how many of you had tried to see this video. One second, sorry. Okay, so I am not sure how many of you has watched this complete video for half an hour. I think so. It is one of the biggest video so far in which I have released it. Okay, so but this has to be done in a one particular video only. We can't go for 2 or 3 videos for a manual kerning thing. Okay, so I am very sure that this will be definitely helpful. And if you are a logo designer, then I am again stressing on this point that manual kerning is must for a particular brand name. The beauty of the word lies in a spacing between each and every character. Okay, so make sure you maintain this optimum spacing. And thank you all for watching this video till the end, and thank you all for your love and support. And we have successfully completed this basics of typography session. Okay, the basics of typography, you have completed it. So next session will be taking some time. In between we'll have some short quick tips video also, and there will be other social media creatives video also that will be lined up. Okay, I hope so. You like this video. Do like the video, share the video with your friends. And the main purpose of me starting this channel is, if you are a beginner graphic designer, you will be elevated to a next level graphic designer in a very short span of time by knowing this couple of techniques. Okay, so that is what the main purpose of me starting this channel, and I hope so I am doing justice to whatever I am, we can't say teaching it, whatever I'm sharing it to you. Okay, so I'm sure I'm doing justice, and thank you all for your love and support. Definitely I'll be seeing you soon in the next couple of videos. Until then, bye. Thank you.